My parents texted me during my husband's funeral. Can you pick up pizza on your way home? And please leave your family drama at the door today. Friends are coming over. I was standing there at the graveside holding my kids while they cried, and my phone kept buzzing. My sister added in the group chat, yeah, don't forget extra cheese this time. I didn't answer any of them. After the funeral, I drove home with my children still in tears. When I walked in without pizza, my mother slapped me hard across the face and said, seriously? One simple task and you couldn't even do that? Dad grabbed my arm and shoved me against the wall. We have guests waiting and you show up empty-handed. My sister laughed while kicking my funeral flowers across the floor. Told you she'd mess it up. I just stood there in shock. Then I quietly said, get out. What happened next left them terrified. I was standing at the graveside holding my kids while they cried. My phone kept buzzing. 17 messages total. They were planning a dinner party while I buried David, while their grandchildren watched their father's casket lowered into the ground. I didn't stop for pizza. I drove home in silence. My daughter Emma gripping my hand. My son Lucas crying himself into hiccups. My parents' Lexus was blocking my garage. Through the window, I saw strangers drinking wine in my living room. My mother had rearranged my furniture. My father was making drinks at David's desk. Where's the pizza? Mom snapped when I walked in. I stood in my funeral dress. Get out of my house. She laughed. Excuse me? My children are in the car crying because we just buried their father. Get out. Mom's hand connected with my cheek, a sharp slap that echoed through the silent room. One simple task and you couldn't even do that? Dad grabbed my arm and shoved me against the wall. A framed photo of David and the kids fell, glass shattering. We have guests waiting and you show up empty-handed. My sister kicked the funeral flowers across the floor, water and lilies scattering. Told you she'd mess it up. I pulled out my phone. You have 60 seconds before I call 911 and report home invasion and assault. Dad tightened his grip. You're being hysterical. 40 seconds. The strangers started gathering their things, hurrying out. 30 seconds. I started dialing. Mom grabbed her purse. Don't come crying to us when you need help with those kids. I've always been on my own. I just didn't realize it until today. Leave the key. She dropped it with a clatter and slammed the door. Monday morning, I called my attorney. By Wednesday, I had restraining orders against all three. The bruises on my arm photographed beautifully. So did the broken frame and scattered flowers. 3 weeks later, Mom showed up at Emma's school. The principal called immediately. I arrived to find her arguing about her rights as a grandmother. You have a restraining order, I told her. I'm calling the police. She left before they arrived, but I filed a violation report. My attorney filed contempt charges. The court hearing came in November. Judge Costanos reviewed the file with visible displeasure. You violated a restraining order by appearing at your granddaughter's school, she told my mother. Your behavior at the funeral was appalling. Granted on all counts, the judge said, signing. The restraining order is now permanent. Any further violations will result in criminal charges and jail time. New Year's Eve, my phone rang. Valerie's voice slurred with alcohol. You destroyed our family. How's that working out for you? Mom and Dad won't talk to me. I had the baby, a girl. They haven't asked to meet her because I wrote that letter to the judge supporting you. I hadn't known she'd testified. I told them what really happened that day. She continued crying. You were burying your husband and we asked for pizza. I'm so sorry. Are you safe? I got an apartment working at a coffee shop. I named her Claire after David's mother. That touched me more than expected. Can I ever meet them? Emma and Lucas? I want to be better. I thought about Emma asking if I'd forgiven Grandma yet. Someday, I said, when you've proven through actions, not words, that you've changed. Thank you. That's more than I deserve. Probably, but we all deserve chances to be better. Don't waste yours. David was gone. That pain would never heal. But his children slept peacefully upstairs, safe from fear.